I'm on 2 minutes early, I think. That's okay. I hit the live button by accident, but that's all right. Not a problem. Usually takes a little while to get started anyway. So anyway, how's everybody doing? I hope you had a great week. We missed a week together. I was down at the RPM. The RPM was a lot of fun, even though I was only there for a day. And let's see, are we live? Yeah, we're live, right? Just double check. Yeah, we're live. All right. Say hello if you're there. Anyway, let's see who pops on here and get a few minutes, get things organized a little bit, get out some of my washes and things like that. Hey, James, how are you? Michael? Chris, how you doing? Glad you guys are there. Bob, how's it going? Hope everybody's having a great week. Chris, I hope you had a good time down in at the RPM in Georgia. I guess possibly you're still there. Yeah. I saw some of the pictures. The pictures look pretty good, so it's probably a good one to check out one of these days. Yeah, let's see. Oh, okay, Mike. All right, cool. So you were there at the clinic last week. Awesome. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Let me just give me a second here, guys. I'm trying to dig through my stuff. I started 2 minutes early before I was ready. My fat fingers hit the button. Not a problem, though. We all have that problem sometimes. Anyway, I'm hoping by next week I got a nice, snazzy little opening uh, intro for the live feed. Steve has been playing around with an app, and he made me an intro, and I just got to figure out how to apply it to the live stream before I come on. So we'll see. It's only like a 10-second intro, but I thought it was pretty cool. You know, he did a nice thing for me by doing that. So I got to give him credit ahead of time before I get it going. So all right. So what am I looking for here? So anyway, again, I had a nice time. I was only at the RPM for a day. I couldn't devote the whole weekend there. I wish I could have because it's a good one and it's close to home and it's one that I like, and it's only every other year. I mean, on the off year, it's in the Pittsburgh area, and I never make it out to that. It's just a little bit too far of a ride for me to go. Although I might try to go next year. We'll see. Part of the problem is it's always the same weekend as my wife's birthday, and this year was a big milestone birthday for her. So we celebrated Friday night with just me, her, and our daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter, and then Sunday they had a big to do because she has a twin brother, and we celebrated with her twin brother and her mom's birthday was a couple of weeks ago. So they had a big shindig in Chinatown over in New York. And those of you who know me, and some of you know me, some of you don't, I do not like New York. And I never really should preface that. I don't like Manhattan. We got friends in Brooklyn, and I have no problem driving to Brooklyn, no problem driving to Queens, unless I have to drive through Manhattan to get to Queens. Then I got a problem with Queens. Bronx, I don't have a problem. I got a friend and one of my sisters lives in the Bronx. Manhattan, I just can't stand it. I got love hate, mostly hate relationship with Manhattan and New York City. So it was lots for me to go, but again, it was a milestone birthday for my wife and her brother, and I want her to be happy, and she likes going over there. And we had a really wonderful dinner in Chinatown, and lots of family and lots of friends, and it was just really cool. So so I couldn't go to the. Long story short, I couldn't spend the whole weekend at the RPM. But the majority of stuff happens on Saturday, and it's only about an hour and a half for me ride to get there down to Malvern. And I went down for the day. I got down there, early enough to get set up for my clinic, the 10:30 clinic. I was there around probably got there about 9:15. So I had a little time to look around the model room and stuff like that, and catch up with some people before I had to go in and do the clinic. And then after the clinic, I got to hang out and browse the model some more and check out the vendor room and just catch up with a bunch of people that I don't get to see too often. And usually you only get to see these people sometimes is when they show up at RPMs or train meets and stuff like that. So it was really fun just to catch up with people. I did my second clinic and then I left just around dinner time. So it was a nice day. It really wasn't bad. I didn't mind doing it the way we did it. So, but anyway, so let's see. Anything new? Did I buy anything? Not really. I did work on a couple things, even though we weren't online. Did a little decaling. We have our Sunday night crew that we get together every Sunday night and have a Zoom call and shoot the breeze and do modeling and stuff like that. And while we were doing that, I worked on a couple of vehicles that I've had. I wanted to pen centralize them. So I had bought this truck for somebody, and it had one Penn Central decal and one C-No decal on the other side. I don't know why they did that. So I removed the C-No decal. I redid the Penn Central decals on both sides. And that was that. I haven't weathered it yet. Then I have this truck. And this truck came as a Southern um, boom truck, or actually a Southern crane, or heavy wrecker, whatever you want to call it. And it was already green. And I don't know if you can see, but inside the wheel well, I haven't done nothing with that yet. But that was the color green, so it's kind of dark, not very Penn Central-ish. But what I did was I took this neutral wash, which is like a gray, and it dries to a very light gray, and it hit the whole truck with the neutral wash. And it toned down that green. It actually got it to pretty close to a Penn Central tone of green, close enough for government work, if I can say that myself. Yeah. Yeah, right. I think that's what the guy was doing, Chris. One day he was doing Penn Central, then he was doing, the next day he turned the truck around that way, right? But anyway, I fixed that. So I slightly weathered this truck. I toned down the green when I put the neutral wash on here. I turned it down to more of a Penn Central-ish green, at least close enough for my eyes. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I think I'm gonna have to paint the boom. I'm not even sure if Penn Central had one of these. Yeah, yeah, close enough. Plus add weathering. Yep. I'm not sure if you had one of these trucks, but it's just to have a good stand-in and stuff. Probably gonna do like a grayish black on the wheels. We'll see. I gotta work on that later on. So anyway, let's see who else has joined us so far. We got Bob. Bob, how's it going? Mike, John, Gavin, how are you, buddy? How you doing? Garvin, John Garvin. Sorry, John. Chris, obviously. Let's see, Bill Hawk, how are you? Where did I get the PC decals? A good question. You can buy these from the Penn Central Historical Society. It's a sheet. Let me pull it out. And it's for vehicles, trailers, stuff like that. And let me pull the sheet out. And it comes with a lot of logos and decals and stuff. So well worth the money. Very well done. Let me pull this out. Let's see. Come on. Come out. So here's the decal sheet. You can see I messed one up, so I had to redo another one, but I've only used 3. But this is everything that comes on the sheet. All right. So this is really cool. And so like I said, it's well worth the money. I don't know about some of these bigger logos. I don't know if this is a multi-scale sheet, if this is for O scale and or whatnot. But yeah, but it's good. It's worth the money. It's got different data things on it, different signage. So you can get some good decal sets from the Penn Central Society. I highly recommend it. I'll just put this away. What else we got here? All right, Scott, how are you? I think that's you, right? FVRC Scott. So I'm gonna call you Scott. All right. All right. So if Chris calls you Scott, then you got to be Scott. All right. Who else? Anybody else? Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so I don't know if Chef Dan is gonna show up here. He'd be Red Camaro. Um, hey, Willow Creek, Brad, how are you, Brad? This was a request from today's subject was a request from Dan, and I think not John Terry. I think Bobby Hall had said something about it too. They wanted me to do a Tuscan car, so we're gonna do this Pennsylvania coal hopper, and it's coal goes to war. So this is this is around World War II time. This is a car that I built for when I had my mom and pa layout. That was modeled in 1943. I hadn't gotten around to weathering this one for that, and this is pretty much out of my era now. So let's see. I'm gonna do this up, and maybe next time I see Dan will get it. So, but anyhow, this is pretty much a Tuscan brown, or Tuscan red, and they wanted me to do another Tuscan. I did one probably about 2 months ago. I did a gondola, which Dan bought from me. He purchased it from me, and we exchanged it up at Amherst in Springfield. So, I'm gonna see Dan again in June at the Any RPM. Guys want to go to a really good RPM? Go to the Any RPM. That's the next one coming up. That'll be in June. It's always the weekend after Memorial Day. So really, and it's at a great hotel. I mean, it's downtown Springfield at the Sheraton Monarch. Wonderful place. We stayed there. I stayed there for the RPM. I stayed there for the big show in January. It's convenient downtown. You could walk to everything, all the great restaurants and stuff. And it's really, really a great hotel. And it's a great RPM. It gets better and better every year. So I also got my call to MARPM. That's going to be October 1st through the 3rd, I think it is. It's the first weekend in October. And they already asked if I'm going to come down and do that. And I definitely, two I never miss is Any RPM and MARPM. So two great RPMs. All right. And then see what else. Thanks, Bob. Yeah. So Any RPM is May 29th and May 30th. All right. Usually I go up on a Thursday night and stay till Sunday. So, And I see Steve is here. Hey, Steve, how's it going? I was just talking about you. I was talking about the intro you made for me. I haven't figured out how to incorporate it yet, but by next week, hopefully, I'll figure out how to incorporate it. So I said Steve's a little bit more advanced than I am with this stuff. So don't forget, Steve will be on after me tonight. And what'd you put down, Steve? You're going to be on at 10:30 or 10:15 or 10? I forget what it was. Yeah. Yeah, NERPM. We said NERPM. So you're going to get NERPM, Steve. Yeah, I think Steve's coming on at 10:15. I saw on his channel thing. So anyway, let's get started. First off, of course, we have to do our Saturday night beer. So tonight's beer is going to be a Blue Moon. MARPM later this year. Yeah, so 10:15. That's what I thought. Yeah. Chris, you going to go to MARPM? Actually, I should ask her, are you going to come up to Any RPM? You should do both, Chris. Because it's always fun to see you. All right, so we have a Blue Moon Belgium White Ale, or Belgium White Beer. Belgium style wheat brew. Of course, it's non-alcoholic. All right, because we want to be level-headed while we're weathering. We don't want to be half in the bag and try to weather something. So I did cheat last night. We went out to dinner with my daughter and granddaughter and son-in-law. We went to Korean barbecue. and they did not have any non-alcoholic beer, so I had to tough it and drink some Korean beer. And I think it was called Terra, Terra. It was pretty good. It was a lager, very light, very light lager. Um, Kind of along the lines of almost like a Kirin, like if you go like a Japanese equivalent of a Kirin, maybe. Had a good taste to it. And it was funny because they on the bottle it said carbonated beer. I said I didn't think beer was not carbonated. I don't know if I've never had a beer that wasn't carbonated, so I don't know if this is something that's lost in translation from Korean to English or what. But anyway, guys, cheers! Happy Saturday, happy weekend. Glad you guys are here. Glad I'm here. Down the hatch. Pasco weathering with Ted. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go with a fade. We're gonna go with a fade. We'll see how far we get tonight. Um, I'm thinking I'm gonna keep the coal load in, but I want to do something with the coal load, so I gotta pop this out somehow. As you can see, this is like a plastic coal load. It's very shiny and doesn't look very realistic. So if we get a little time tonight, we'll add some a real coal load on top. So let me pop this out. I heard something jingling around in here. Yeah, I think one of these weights. So because this is a car that's going to have a load on it, I'm not too concerned about the weights inside, the way they look. Let me see. Let me just fix this here. Normally, what I would do is, if this was going to be running empty on no load, and maybe down the road it will be, I would paint the weights the same color as the inside. So I would get like a brown, Tuscan brick, color brown, and do that. I've done that on other cars. Let me see if I got a car up here that I can show you an example of it. Let me check this coal car here. Oh wait, here we go. We got a car without a load on it. So we can look at this Reading car that I did a while back. Rusted up the inside, and all I did was I had painted the weights black that matched the inside of the car, and then when I put the rust in there, covered the weights with it. So if you're looking at it, it's going down the track, and you're going to look at it, you'll see it in there, but it kind of camouflages in there a little bit. I'm not too concerned about how it looks when it's empty, so it's not a big deal to me. I'd rather have the weights in there and have the car track right and run well for the operation. So okay, so we're going to do something with this later on, and all we'll do is just instead of reinventing the wheel and making a new coal load, we'll just put some canopy glue on top and dip it in some black sand and put a little bit of black sanding grout on top, and that'll be the coal load. So if we get that far tonight, all right. If I don't get that far, then maybe I'll just do a quick video during the week for that. So, so anyway, let's look at the car. Let's get out the color wheel because we did this a couple of months ago, so I can't remember exactly what we did. So we're going to go look at the color wheel and see if we're adding different colors. If we can get something that's going to be closer to the Tuscan orange. So I'm adjusting the wheel. No, that's not good. Let's go over here. Red orange. No. And probably what we'll do is, because this is a little more towards the brown spectrum of the Tuscan than a red. We might go, let's see. This is probably getting as close as we're going to get from the red orange. All right, we have a little bit of blue green, so that'll be kind of close to that. And all we're trying to really do, guys, is to fade this out a little bit. We're not trying to go exact. So what I'm going to probably do is blue green would be the opposite of red, or green is the opposite of red. Blue green would get us more towards a brownish hue. Let's just shift this over just a little bit more just to see if there's anything. Oh, there we go. So we have that. So a yellow green. And I guess not if you guys can see it. I think we found what we got here. So if we add some red and some violet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with a little bit of, to get a violet would be blue yellow. And then the yellow, again, yellow and green. So we'll add a little bit of green, a little bit of red, and a little bit of blue, and a little bit of yellow. All right, a little mix of each. And then we're going to go with some white to lighten it up. And we'll see how this works out. All right, I'm trying to remember what we did from the last time. And like I said, it's been a while since we did Tuscan cars. So let's mix up our paints a little bit. In the meantime, anything new with everybody else? You guys been having a good week? I haven't talked to you in about 2 weeks, so hopefully we've got some good things over the past couple of weeks. I got, let's see, let's get a light green. There's my, I think I talked about this a while back. I picked up some more oil brushers. I need the white. Picked up Starship Filth, the new color I got. I also got black. I didn't have black before. This white is starting to see better days, so I'm gonna have to replace that with another white. So, all right, so white. We want the blue. We might just do blue yellow. The blue yellow mixed green anyway. Leave the green out, maybe. Let's see. Because I don't, for some reason, I don't see my lighter shade of green in there for some reason. Maybe it's just olive. I think we use olive usually. So, yeah, I will take this out. We're gonna have a little hodgepodge of color to it. Using our Ray Spin-O-Matic mixer here. And yellow. All right. So we're going to go a little bit of each color and blend it in, and we'll see what happens. Let's see. We got a couple of things here. Oh, you're going to go to the Carolina RPM in May. All right. Yeah, it's the one. That's the one that. Oh, why am I having a brain fart? Tony Sissons. Tony Sissons helps run, right? Yeah, that should be a good one too. Tony's a character. I love Tony comes up to the MERPM every year, and I love sitting here talking to him. So, okay, so let's get started. We're gonna hit it first with some green because green's gonna be the opposite color of the red. We're not a pure red, so we're gonna do some other. Let's go like one dot on each panel, and then see what happens. Go blue. That's a little too much blue. Just drop a little bit on there. It's a little heavy. Some yellow. Some red. Right, when you mix all these colors together, it comes brown anyway. So, This is what shade it comes out. That's what we're looking at. A little bit of red. And obviously we got to do some white, because white's what's going to take it down a shade far as our fading goes. Nice white. Got our measles look going on here. All right, always seals the paint back up. All right, so let's get our brush and start blending in. Now, let's get a bigger brush here. And we use this one. Just finish that in there and blend it up. Did Dan show up yet? Because I'm doing this for Dan. I'm hoping he sees it. You see Dan yet, Steve? Dan, you out there, Dan? Alright, so get some on the slope sheets here too. I'm going to go with this brush initially. I'm going to go with a dry brush over here, take a bunch of this off. Build some up on the wires too. Wipe the brush off as we can. Let's go back with the fatter brush and really work that in. Trying to get up in these ridges here too. I didn't want too much built up there. Yeah, I remember the last time I did a Tuscan car, I didn't put any washes on afterwards because I had a nice faded and all the colors that were mixed together kind of gave it a grimy look. And Dan liked it like that, so I did not add any more to it before I gave it to Dan. He's quite happy with it. I'm just waiting to see a video of it running revenue on his layout. You know, Dan's got a YouTube channel if you want to check out his layout. It's got a horseshoe curve, I think, and everything on it. He's a big Penzi fan. See mirror. So we just keep working this in. All right. So all those colors that we figured that go into a red or go into the complementary color, we add that on here. And it gives this nice faded look compared to here. See that? And we got that. All right. So that's pretty good. I'm liking this already. And one thing, when I do these clinics at the RPMs, I'm always doing the beginner stage stuff with everybody. You know, we don't have a lot of time, and we just do the wash on the cars just to get everybody, you know, to get a quick dirtying up the car and a little bit grinding up stuff like that. One of these days, I like to maybe run the session in 2 sessions. You know, the first session would be doing a fade, then the second session would be finishing up the car. Um, I always get different people each session, so I don't know if I can just do it that way or try to advertise it that way or not, but it's a thought. You know. All right, so we're gonna go back to the green. And again, green is the is our complementary color for red. Even though this is more of a brownish red, Tuscan red is more of a brownish red. And there's different varying shades of Tuscan too. Sometimes a little darker like this. Sometimes it's a little bit more red. I've seen different variations just on GG1s and some freight cars. Sometimes it's more towards a boxcar brown than anything else, but all right, let's go with the blue. Try to go a little less blue next time. Went a little heavy, but it still worked out all right. All right, get a couple drops on there on each one. Same thing with the yellow. Shake it up a little bit more. Yellow. Okay, red. And last will be white. Hey Steve, before you ask, I still haven't found the short yet. I'm still looking. Actually, I didn't look. I haven't looked. I haven't looked since the last time we talked, so I figure I save you the trouble of asking. Still haven't found the short yet in the layout. I was actually at my friend's house today. We're getting ready for the big operating weekend coming up here in New Jersey at the end of April. Pro Rail. All the big muckety mucks of model railroading travel around the country every year in April. They go to this thing called Pro Rail. So after 12 years, it's come back around to New Jersey, and my buddy Ralph Heiss, we were over his house today trying to make sure everything is up and running. We did a lot of repairs on stuff that needed to be repaired, and I think we got him to a good place. We're gonna go back over there next Saturday during the day and help him a little bit more. And he's got a nice, interesting layout for his theory wise. He does the Lehigh Valley in Jersey City, and also the C&J in Jersey City, New Jersey. Oh, I'm gonna have another drink here too. Excuse me, guys. And he does the float bridges. They were float bridges that were exactly across the way from the Twin Towers. I remember hanging out down there and camping out. There used to be a train show at Liberty State Park, and the yard and the float bridge for Lehigh Valley was right next to the ferry and the train station terminal for C&J. And he models that yard with the float operations and everything. And we've operated in the past. It's just the layout's been sitting dormant for a long time because he's just had a lot of stuff with life getting in the way. And but he wanted to be up and running for this pro rail. And when it's running, it's a fun layout. He's switching the float bridge across the Isle of Jersey City. And the C&J, you do switching on C&J. And on the other side of the peninsula, there's intermodal yard. And around the corner from that is another industrial spur. So it's just a lot of action on small layout. And it's not small. I'd say it's probably like 20 by 15, you know. It's got two aisles, 3 operating sections. So I'm looking forward to getting that going. So I'll be helping him out on the pro real weekend. And then later the same day, I'll be going over to my friend Dave Ramos' house, and he's another New York Harbor Railroad. In fact, the name of his layout is New York Harbor Railroad. You can go check him out on Facebook. Ralph's layout is New York, no, Lehigh Valley. I should put a link in when I find out. Lehigh Valley, New York Terminal Railroad. So both of them. Ralph is on the New Jersey side, right? And Dave is modeling on the Manhattan side. Dave models. He's got 28th Street, which was an Erie yard. He's got 27th Street, which was the Lehigh Valley yard, float yard. I should, preface that saying it's a float yard. And I'm going to switch over to the other brush now. So it's a Lehigh Valley float yard. He also has, I think 33rd Street, is it? His 33rd Street is the big yard that was over by the Hudson Yards, now it's Metro North, I think, or Subway. And he also models the High Line. So there's a lot of action going on his layout. And it's what's cool about Dave's layout, and even on Ralph's layout, you don't have enough operators to run the whole thing. You could just run one float yard or two float yards, or you can just run 33rd Street, or you can just run the High Line. There's just almost like having three or four standalone layouts in one layout. So that's what's cool about it. And you can really adjust to how many operators you have on hand. So, but they're both on Facebook. So if you just you can look it up. If I get a chance, I think right toward the end of the live stream, I'll try and look it up and pin it in the comment section for you guys, so you can go and follow those two railroads on Facebook. Really worth a follow. And Dave does a lot with 3D printing. His whole High Line has been replaced with 3D printed parts. So intricate railings and stuff like that. He's got the West Side Highway. Used to be called something else back in the day, but West Side Highway going over 28th Street. Yeah, let's take a look at this. That was 3D printed. So compared to the ends, right? The ends are still not done. Got a nice fade going on there. What do you guys think so far? All right, so far so good, right? Or as they say in the jungle, so far so good. All right. What's the second switch? Yeah, I know. I'm not paying attention. Sorry, guys. All right, so we got two sides done. I'm going to do the ends. Oh, this little weight's falling out again. So let me just fix this weight again. These are I don't know if you guys know, these are the tire weights when you're balancing tires out, and these are 1/4 ounce weights each one. These fit inside the slope sheets. I think the adhesive on the tape is getting loose on there, but we'll figure it out. All right, so let's do the ends. We do both ends at the same time, so let's get the green first. All right, green. We do both sides at the same time. 1, 2 green, 2 green. Two blue. Yeah, Scott, you might have came in after I mentioned that. The weights, I have cars that have weights in that don't have a load in. And usually what I'll do is I'll paint the weights the same color of the inside of the car. So I get some like Penzi Tuscan and paint it, or a brown paint. And then if I rust inside the car, I'll rust up the weights too. So yeah, you'll see it if it's running without a load, but it's semi camouflaged in there. And I'm not hung up by the looks of the car. I always say if you're paying attention to the weights inside the car while you're operating on the layout, then you're not paying attention to the layout. So it's something that's a thing that I live with. I don't mind. I have no problem with the weights being visible. All right, so two blue, and we'll go with yellow next. Okay. Yellow, two yellow, and let's see there. We're missing the red, right? Missing the red and the blue, and the red and the white. And I didn't think I'm looking over on my tray here, and I got this red tile. That probably would have worked good too, but that's all right. This is working out the way I was hoping it would work out. So we're gonna keep plugging along with what we started. All right, and we just need some white. Some white. Yes, we are live, sir. Ray, how are you? We are live. Always live. There he is. There's Dan. Dan, see, I'm doing this car per your request. Tuscan car. And it's war era. Coal goes to war, Dan. Right up your alley there. This was all made possible by Dan tonight, guys. Dan requested this Pennsylvania car, so that's what we're doing. A little bit of white. All right. It's going to get a little delicate around this brake staff here, so I got to be careful. A little white on this side. Okay. And then we'll start rubbing it in. That's what she said. Okay. All right, let's get the brush. We'll start over here. Oh, you just finished your interview? Who did we interview? Or we're not allowed to say? I haven't had a chance. Oh, you got the Bowser cars like this? Yeah, these are great cars. I got more in the box, but it's funny. I guess I got some of the earlier versions where it's like very shiny. And I've talked to people. I talked to people at the RPM about cars that are shiny that I might have to hit it with some dull coat before I try to weather it because it's like a shiny plastic. It's almost like it was molded in the color. Whereas this one is definitely painted, you know. This one's definitely painted. Let's get to the other side. So I'm gonna have to tackle those cars a little differently. And these are all out of my era now too. So, and if you need some more cars, I got them for you. I'll even weather them for you. Wipe some of this off. It's getting built up on the brush a little bit. brush, the fatter brush, and blend it in some more. Dan, what year are you modeling? I was assuming that you're in the 40s, right? Wartime or just after the war or during the war, pre-war, post-war? War, what is it good for? Nothing. Say it again. I might have to get in there with some sponge because it's a little heavy on that side. Let's go over here. Blend it in, the side's better. Again, guys, we're just rubbing it back and forth and blending it in. We're not changing the color, we're just fading the color. And you can see, look at the inside of the car compared to the outside. What we're doing, you know. Let me get one of my little sponges. I'm not sure if I took that out of the, we got these over here. I still have stuff packed away from the RPM I haven't unpacked yet. I just took the essentials out for now, so yeah, we'll get one of these guys right here. And I want to, not here, but over on this side. You can see it looks a little green inside by the brake staff here. Get some of that out of there. There you go. All right. Awesome. There we go. So we did our fade all the way around. Definitely can see the difference, right, guys? Didn't do the bottom. I'm going to do something with the wash on the bottom, I think. But all right. So Dan, I'm thinking this is almost like that gondola you got, right? That I did for you. This looks pretty good weathered already. I think we're just gonna maybe go a little light with the wash. We're making some good time tonight, so let's put the oil brushers away, and we will break out the wash. We'll go very light with the wash, and because this is a Tuscan car, it's got a brown hue to it. We are going to go with the green or the brown for dark green vehicles. So let me look for that in my chest of weathering stuff. Here we go. So we're going to go with this, and let me break out some. I think we're going to go with the, instead of the darker Russian earth, I think I'm going to go with the dark earth, which actually is a little bit lighter. All right, so this is the dark earth pigment. I'm going to add a little bit to our tray over here. Don't need a lot. We're trying not to go too heavy on this car tonight. Want to get a fade, and looked at it's been over the road a little bit, so rust is over there. I'm not going to really need that. Let's put this on the spin-o-matic here. Guys, don't forget 10:15 right after I'm done. Steve will be firing up the on the pine. What are you doing tonight, Steve? Working on more buildings or? Let me put your link in the description. Put your link in the chat too, so people know how to get there. Don't forget to check out the latest Around the Layout podcast. I'm behind by 2. I haven't had a chance to listen, so I got to finish up, do what's new in hobby, and then this latest one. but I will get to it. Usually I like to listen in the car. When the wife's not in the car, she doesn't want to listen. It's very rare. She's just not interested, but you can't blame her. She's not a trained person. But I usually listen in the car while I'm either driving, doing deliveries and stuff, or if I'm going someplace. So definitely this week I'll be listening because I got to drive down to see my other granddaughters down South Jersey. So it'll fit just nice within the amount of time that I got to take the drive down there and back. So, all right, let me get another drink here, guys. Again, cheers. Happy Saturday night. I hope you guys are having a great week and weekend. Oh, yeah. And baseball started again this week. Oh, I am so stoked. Except I missed all the games today. I was out today and I didn't realize there was a lot of early games today. I missed the Cubs, but the Cubs won. I think it was 10-2. So that's good. I'm a Cubs fan. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to put the Padres game on in the background while I'm watching Steve because they're playing right now. That's another team that I like, and the Yankees I like. But yeah, I got the MLB package that I can watch all the games, but I can't watch Yankee or Met games because they're in the New York area. They black those games out. I am not paying extra for Yes Network, so I am more than content to just watch the Cubs and Padres. And occasionally Prime will put on a Yankee game, so when Prime puts the Yankee game on, then I watch the Yankees. But all right. All right, so let's clean this brush off. We're going to go back and use this brush again. What do we got here? Jays are 2-0. I know, man. They were. I was watching the end of that game today. They were extra innings, and I know the Athletics were up by 1 run, but I just kind of glanced at it, and they had two guys on base, second and third, with no outs. So I figured, yeah, they're gonna win that game. So yeah, it's good for you, man. Let's see. And then Chris says, I listened to both this week's while doing lawn care, and this afternoon, in fact, I listened to Tim Garland about the same time he was scheduled at the Georgia RPM. All right, cool. If you have Netflix, you can see some games this year. Yeah, I don't have Netflix. I didn't know Netflix. I know Prime, Amazon Prime carries some of the Yankee games. I don't see them ever carrying Mets games, and I'm not a Mets fan, so it doesn't matter. But I know they carry some of the Yankee games. They carry probably about 20 games for the whole year, so I catch it when I can. But I guess I'm a big Cubs fan, and I kind of grown to like the Padres. Let's see, I don't want to use this big brush. Let's see, I use a smaller brush. They got Padres got a fun team to watch with Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado. I know some people don't like Manny, but Manny's mellowed out through the years. I will go back and use this one. He's mellowed out through the years. He's not like when he was big with the Orioles. He's calmed down a lot. So he's just very passionate, and I just like the energy they give sometimes. Those guys. All right, let's just bring it a little bit down through the ribs here. All right, so we got the brown for green vehicles. All right, and we really like because I don't want to really mess up on top of this fade that we got going. So, and because this is an enamel wash, this will mess with the oils a little bit. So I just want to go very lightly. So we're just bringing it down. And as a reminder, when we do the wash, we're doing it from the top, and it drips down from the top down the sides of the car. So we're going down. We're not going to go side to side. We're just going down, right? Not up and down, just down. So, okay. Yeah, you guys are a month behind everybody else from Canada right there, John, right? As far as worrying about the grass growing and stuff like that. I watch a guy on YouTube. He called himself the king. of obsolete. He lives in up in Lynn Lake, in Manitoba. And he's still getting a ton of snow up there. Uh, God bless him. I don't think I can live up there like that. I don't like the amount of snow that we got this year in New Jersey, let alone living someplace north like that, getting way below zero and dealing with all that extra snow. All right. So we have this wash going on. So we're going to go back with the sponge. Just sponge it slightly, just to blend in. We don't have any brush marks. Clean up the coal, rouge de war a little bit. Clean up the Penzi logo a little bit. We're not going to do much else over here. Now we're going to go to the end. Do a little bit on the end here. I don't know if anybody else watches that guy. He's a piece of work. His claim to fame was he was on Ice Road Chuckers for 2 seasons. What's his name? I'm having a brain fart again. Oh, Joey Barnes. Joey Barnes on Ice Road Truckers. So he's got his own YouTube channel called The King of Obsolete. He's King of Obsolete because he's got all these old trucks and all kinds of Caterpillar draggers, tractors. Blend this in a little bit more. Back with the sponge, just wipe a little bit away. Piece of work. It's kind of fun to watch. He puts a video in every day. I don't watch every day, but you could if you wanted to. Yeah, well, you're down south there, Chris. I would think you cut the grass. The landscapers here in our development, because I'm in a townhouse development here, they came and did the winter cleanup. So they did all the branches that fell in the last storm and everything else, and they blew all the leaves that were still hanging around. And did this general cleanup. Actually, the development's looking better now. Wipe this off. Go back and blend this in a little bit. We'll finish up with the sponge again. Again, we're just going down. Going up and down, side to side. Wipe off the excess. And I hit the sponge. There we go. Let's do the last end. And then we'll check the time. Yeah, we got 20 more minutes. A little less than 20 more minutes. So we'll throw it over to Steve. Build up the ladder there, get some up in the brake wheel. Probably should do one on the top of the car too. Drag this down. The sponge. We got all the way around, right? I think so. I think so. All right. I'm shit the bottom of the car, a little bit of wash. These slope sheets a little bit more out in the open than you see some other times. So I just want to get some wash on there. Wash is running dry anyway, just to dirty it up. You really don't see the bottom of the car unless you're really holding it upside down. Get that last little bit of wash there. I will not do much else with that. Okay, awesome. All right, let's go back and hit it with some of the dust along the bottom. And like I said, we're going to go light. We're not going to go too crazy with that. I'll use a smaller brush, dip in that dark brown and dark earth, which is not really as dark as the Russian earth, but I think the lighter tone shows up good on the bottom of this car with this color. So just kind of burnish that in there because this wash is still a little tacky, and that's what you want. You want it tacky, so that's what's going to hold the pigment in. Oh, and also too, I know we always have the question about whether you can seal up what you've done after everything's dry. And I say I never do, and I still stand by that. I never do. But somebody, I forget who I was talking to. Was it Tuesday night, Steve and Chris, when we were all talking? That somebody said they used my method, and then they sealed it afterwards with dull coat, and they didn't have any problems with it. It didn't, nothing washed away, which is what you had. This the problem that you have with when you're using chalks and stuff like that. Dull coat has a tendency to kind of wash it away. Go around this side. And they said it worked. So if you're going to dull coat your car when you're done, somebody said it worked. So, which is good. See, I don't feel it's necessary, but again, that's me. Your mileage may vary. I tell you for educational purposes. Don't hold me to it. Pull off the excess. Drag it a little bit up. Okay. Last side. Get some in the channel down here, over here. On the ladder. Get the car spin. See where we're at right now. You can have issues after a while. Let me reread what you said. All right, so Butch said because oil and dull coat dry in two different ways, you can have issues after a while. Yeah, you know what? I mean, that makes sense. So again, like I said, I'm not one to use the dull coat afterwards. I forget, like I said, Steve, I think it was Tuesday night. We're on the layout call that somebody said, somebody might have told me that. But so like I said, your mileage may vary. All right, so we got our fade, our wash, our grime on the bottom, all the way around. Looking good. We managed to get a lot done tonight. So let's see where we at time wise. We are at 11:03. We got time. Let's do our trucks and our wheels. And I'm gonna have to step away from the table for a second, but I got my mic on, so I keep talking to you guys. I have to go into my crate, my weathering stuff from Europe. Yeah. I think I left my, little micro brushes. I do see what I left in there. I left my gloves in here. I put my gloves on to make sure I see. That's all right. Why buy gloves if you're not going to remember to use them, right? So let's see. This was the other stuff I was looking for before, but luckily I had some of the micro sponges over here. Let's get our micro brush out. We will do the wheel first, and then we will do the side frames. Oh, Butch mentioned in the ATLP episode, yeah. Cheers again, guys. Oh yeah, I had problem with the handout, and I took down a bunch of people's emails, and a lot of them got kicked back. And I don't know if it's because of my email server, or maybe I copied them down, or I read them off wrong, whatever. A couple of people I was able to email directly, but I couldn't get the link to work to what do you call it, to Google Drive, give permission. So what I'll do is I will remember right after this, we're done with the live feed, I'll do a post on YouTube here, and I will put the handout, so you can just go on or right click and save it as a photo, and get it from there. Yeah, I was figure as I see people as people contact me, let me know they didn't get it, I'll try to get that. And the moral of the story is, don't forget the handout at home next time. So for any RPM, hopefully I won't forget it. So that's okay, because last any RPM I forgot my weathering products. I had to go out and buy some. So I'm always forgetting something, guys. It comes with age, I think, you know. But anyway, all right, let's get the rust out. We had an interesting discussion at the RPM, and we were talking about rust on wheels. And a couple guys mentioned cars with friction bearings, because they put a lot of grease inside those friction bearings, you get a little bit more of a black on the inside of the wheel as opposed to a rust. Um, this rust kind of dries kind of like a dark brown. Um, and I'm not sure if I'm going to really change up too much what I'm doing. But you can always go back in and maybe touch it with a little bit of like a dark wash or something, like a black wash. So you still have like the little bit of a rustiness to it, but with more black, that would represent the grease or goop, whatever they put in the journal boxes, the waste oil, whatever they call it. All right, so let's get our wheels done first. Get a little dip. Again, we're just gonna spin the wheel with the brush, the inside of the wheel. And like I said, this dries pretty dark. This brown for rust. So real quick, do both sides, and then we're gonna go back and do our side frame, and that'll be it for tonight. I will do as an extra this week. I'll do a short video and post it up on the channel doing the cold load. I think I did once before, but I'll do it again. I'll do another one. So I think the first time I did a cold load, I think I made it more complicated than it needed to be. And subsequent loads that I've done later on, I've just done a little canopy glue painted on top of the Bowser cold load, and just dipped it in the black sand. And then when I flipped it over, I just did a little extra. I put some of these sandy grout to give it a little slightly different texture. Reheat it with a little bit of glue, and that's it. Very easy to do your cold loads like that if you have a pre-made cold load already. add something to the top of what's already there. All right. 2 more. All right, that's it for that. Okay, let's turn it back over here. All right, so then last thing we'll do is we'll do the side frames. Let's see, we need our cursed soil for that. And again, any brown will do. Light brown, tan. I just used the cursed soil because that's what came with that that kit that's on the handout that we were talking about at the RPM. That Russian motor vehicles. Cursed soil comes in with that. Comes in that kit with the along with the dark brown for green vehicles and the anti-grime, the Russian earth, and the filter. Mix this up good. All right. That's good enough. All right, we'll go with the smaller brush. Paint the side frames. Mix this up a little bit here. Yeah, Mike, I think it was you that was asking about the handout. So like I said, I'll post that up on the channel as a post, and you can just save it from there. And again, my apologies for not getting that out to you sooner. So I had just all kinds of problems I was trying to do it at the meet before I left. And these were getting kicked back, and I said, let me go home and try it on the computer and see anything was happening. And I think it might have been, so I'm sending it from my Google email. No, it's actually from my Yahoo email. And the problem might have been with Yahoo, maybe. Maybe Yahoo and Google don't play good together. Maybe, I don't know. But one way or the other, I'll get that out for you. So, all right, let's get a good brush here. Let's use this brush. All right, we're gonna get our pigment. I just dab that on the outside of it. All still wet. Knock off the excess. All right, so we got our textured side frames. Do the same thing on the other side here. Cursed soil. Throw that on top. This side. Wipe that off. And our brush that we're just using here. Got that pigment on top there. Knock off the excess. And that's it. Let's give it a quick once around. These Tuscan cars are nice. I like how they come out. They take to in boxcar brown, uh, any of these browns, Tuscan boxcar brown, stuff like that. They really take the fading and the weathering really nice, nice and easy. So all the way around the car, the end, this end. All right, we didn't do nothing with the inside, like I said, because we're going to keep the cold load on top. And I was thinking about maybe running it without. And again, I'm not running this car anymore because it's out of my era. Even on my Ironton layout, that's mid 50s, so you wouldn't see cold goes to war. I think they would have been repainted out already by now. Dan would know. Maybe Dan could chime in on that one, but you wouldn't see these cold go to war anymore in the mid 50s. They might have went to from the Circle Keystone to the Outlaw Keystone by that time. Maybe I don't know, but what do I know? I'm not a Penzi expert. I'm a more of a Penn Central. And I'm not even a Penn Central expert. I'm still learning about Penn Central and stuff. But anyway, Penn Central's a dirty word to the Penzi and New York Central guys. Anyway, guys, that's it. I mean, I think this came out good. I hope everybody enjoyed it. In case you're like saying, I was hoping to see some Penn Central green this week. Let me get the camera out of here. And I got Pennsylvania instead. I am wearing my Penn Central shirt, so there you go. Here's your Penn Central. All right, so you can get a little bit of Penn Central fix. All right, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate it. I always appreciate it. Thank you, guys. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in this week. Thanks for being on here. And I'll catch you, John. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Waving the flag. There you go. Stan. Which flag? The meeting worms. That's right. Car looks great. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, you are the critic I am most trying to please tonight, buddy. You're the Penzi guy. So yeah. Bob, take care. Good night. Good night, everybody, and we'll catch you next week on Saturday Night Live. Weathering with me, Ted DiOrio. All right, bye.